Hello and welcome to another Tinto Flavor Friday. Today we're going to be having a look at two countries that I have actually played a relatively decent amount of. First of all, we got Milan, which is, I think, like one of the first countries that I played. And we also have Naples, which is probably the country I spent the most time with. So maybe at some points during this video I'll be able to, give a little bit of extra context, maybe give a little bit of experience behind some of the things that are going on. Maybe, or maybe not. That's also possible. But if you would like to stick around and find out, both for this video and for more videos in the future, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out. You stay informed. I get a sub to win-win. And without further ado, let us start off by having a look at the flavour of Milan. Today we'll look at the flavour content from Milan and Naples. Besides being respective leaders of the Ghibellines and the Guelphs, IOs, as we saw on Wednesday, they have their own country flavour, and as being two of the most important Italian countries of the period. So we'll start without further ado. Milan. The politics of the Italian peninsula are a double-edged sword. Foes and friends, allies and rivals, but identities prescribed and rescinded as easily as the wine flows in a cup. The Milanese position in this hostile environment is quite advantageous. Centered around the strong urban center in Milan, we may seek to project our strength on our newly conquered territories around us, whilst protecting against the menaces to the east and west. Internally, the rise of the autonomous city-states will likely cause issues for our administration and the preservation of our sovereignty. We stand to gain an inconceivable amount of glory and prestige should we succeed in both quelling the internal and external dangers under a strong and united leadership. We have our start screen here, the Signora of Milan, ruled by Signore Azzo, probably pronounced it perfectly. Visconti, he's decent enough ruler. And we see our stats here, 29 urban centers, 994,000 population, 65.95 tax base, and then we have this number, which I keep saying is the amount of troops that you have, or the amount of manpower that you have. And we finally actually get an answer as to what exactly this is, because I'm going to jump ahead a good bit and have a look at one of the comments that was left by Pavia to someone's question, which is this one. Also, Naples, not Nepal, but anyway. Why do they have a monstrous manpower pool with a professional army you could maintain with it, simply conquer Europe? It's because Naples has quite a lot of troops. No, quite a lot of this, the relative power. So the relative power of Milan is 13,505. It accounts for levies and the manpower, and if they have professional troops, I assume that's in there as well. Starting manpower, this is for Naples, but it's 225 and they get 5 a month. Must have a sergeantry in Napoli. Almost certainly. I'm pretty sure I remember that actually being the case. And you're not really building troops with just one sergeantry. Yeah, we finally have a name for it. It's relative power, which is something that we probably knew already, but I may have forgotten. But I don't know. None of you guys have been correcting me in the comments, so I guess it is news to everybody. They also have no boats. Most of their population is Lombard, but they have a large Emilian population and Piedmontese as well. And these populations are newly conquered territories. If we go back to the map, Milan starts with just the province, I should say, where Milan is as a core. They do not have Novara as a core. They do not have any of the land down here as a core, or up here. Cremona is not a core. So immediately when you start the game as Milan, you're going to have to start coring these lands that you've taken, because you just have no ability. You don't have it, right? You have a gold mine. I think it's north of Arona. I can't remember exactly the name of it. I think it's Como. And it's just north here of Novara. So zoom out a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. North of Arona is a gold mine, but you don't have a core in it, and there's no control, so you're getting no benefits from that gold mine. And yeah, propagating control around your newly conquered lands is going to be a big deal, something you're going to really want to do very, very early. And yeah, we got the map here again. Am I wrong about the name? It's the gold mine is here. I thought the name was Como, but maybe I'm mistaking it with the country that's there. Either way, the gold mine's like it's either here or it's here. I'm fairly sure it's here. It's been a while. It's been a little while since I played. It's been too long since I played. It's been 4 months since I've... Oh, I'm so sad. Anyway, Milan starts as a dynastic signora in the hands of the Visconti family. This is a major government reform, gives you more noble levies, lets you replace your cabinet members for a little bit cheaper. You get some monthly prestige. Your estate enrichment, minus 10%, so I guess they're taking less money from buildings and production and such. It also gives you an extra government reform. It means that you have a confederation of city-states ruled by the same dynasty. A dynastic signora often involves a concentration of power in a small group of influential individuals known as the signori. These individuals, who are largely of noble ties, hold both executive and legislative authority, effectively monopolizing control over the state. They aim to maintain power, often at the cost of their own family, resulting in bloody feuds and conflicts. We have signora succession law here as well. Eligibility, all in the ruler's dynasty are considered through siblings of the ruler, through female lines, allows males, and you're allowed to be in any of the estates as well. If you have a parent as the ruler, you get plus 300. Having a grandparent as the ruler, you have plus 200. Very cool. So, you also start with some works of art as Milan. You have the Tower of the Church of San Got something or other. I don't know. And they have Terrazzo of Cremona as well. I guess you've just conquered Cremona, so maybe that was kind of maybe a little bit stolen, but either way. Some of their unique advances. You have the condottieri tradition, giving a 10% extra infantry power. Again, this is kind of equivalent to infantry combat ability from E4. We have Renaissance Prince, giving skill of new artists. We have Age of the Condottieri in the Age of Discovery, giving Merc maintenance minus 10%. This is going to be very, very useful, because if you're using mercenaries, you're not using your own population to fight, and that is kind of good. Encouragement of the Philosophers, giving plus 5 max literacy as well. Very nice. At around 50 dynamic historical events with diverse topics, of which you have some here. Okay, this is something that I want to point out, though. Because, again, I've played Milan. I've clicked on the start screen for Milan, and I've clicked play, and I've played. On the start screen of EU5, when you click a nation, you can see how many dynamic historical events there are. Around 50 is higher than what I remember Milan having. So, either around 50 means we're rounding up quite generously, or, what is more likely, I think they have added quite a few dynamic historical events, which is totally likely and totally possible, since I played the game. If I remember, you know me, I've got a really quite terrible memory, but I believe that it was 36 dynamic historical events when I played the game. And now I have no way of verifying or confirming that number. That's just what I vaguely recollect. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you know what? That can happen. It's totally possible. But that's what I vaguely remember being the case. And yeah, I think if they've increased that by 10, and if you've got 46 now, I'm fine with you rounding up to 50. I'm fine with that. But rounding up from 36 to 50 seems like a bit of a stretch. So I think they've been working on this. It's pretty, obviously they've been working on it, so that's cool. Some of the countries that we've seen that have content will have more content by the time the game comes out. Who knew? Anyway, we have a growing power in northern Italy. During our century, Milan is experiencing significant growth and development, establishing ourselves as a thriving city-state in northern Italy. The city's strategic location along major trade routes, not river, I don't know why I said river, contributes greatly to this prosperity. Milan has become a center of commerce, attracting merchants and artisans from across Europe. Its population grows with leaps and bounds, and the urban landscape is adorned with the construction of impressive Gothic and Renaissance architecture, including iconic constructs of splendor and magnificence. The ruling Visconti play a crucial role in fostering cultural and artistic patronage, transforming Milan into a vibrant hub of creativity. So trying to concentrate around the central power. I don't remember what you get for this, but yeah, cool. That's the book option. We also have the Visconti family of Milan. During the reign of Signore Azzo Visconti as the head of the Signora of Milan, the political situation is in the process of undergoing a significant transformation. Visconti is known for his ambition and political acumen, has dreams of attempting the true unification of our splintered cities, many of which are spearheaded by a disloyal family. In a masterful diplomatic move to seize power, our advisors recommend we bide our time and use it to make plans that involve the expansion of the territories of Milan through military conquest and strategic alliances, as a way to consolidate the control of the region and unite the fractured city-states of the Signora. And patience, our time will come. Grant Visconti city-states estate privilege to the patricians, gain some satisfaction as well. Your satisfaction for the patricians actually just stays neutral, but the clergy, the burghers, and the commoners do not like it. You also have -5 control. I do recall this event. This is something that I did, and I think the other option, if I remember rightly, was heavy stability penalties. So that's, I think Patience Our Time Will Come is what I ended up clicking, even though -5 max control kind of sucks, not gonna lie. The Signora of Milan, under the Visconti family, is marked by a fractured and decentralized state. All prominent family members engage in a relentless struggle for control of the Signora, which has led to a series of further internal conflicts and power struggles. Different members of the Viscontis, including Azone, Giangiazzo, and Bernabo, vie for supremacy, employing various tactics such as alliances, betrayals, and military campaigns. This constant power struggle constantly weakens the central authority of the Signora of Milan and contributes to a state of instability and fragmentation in the region. We have legitimization of power. The prominent nobles of Milan, spearheaded by the great Signore Arezzo Visconti, have come to us with a delicate proposal. They demand the recognition of their dynasty as the legitimate crown holders of Milan. Should we engage with them in this diplomatic ceremony, we're sure to gain prestige, and in turn legitimize our own domestic presence as the holders of the imperial crown. However, we should also be very wary of a rising power in the peninsula. So you can make him a king if you so desire. And I'm going to get on to my experience playing as Milan in a moment, which is, let's just say I didn't have to go through this to get a crown. Messages from the royal court of the Holy Roman Empire has arrived. According to the newsbearer, the Holy Roman Emperor has decided to recognize our bid for the Milanese crown. The recognition solidifies our state's authority and strengthens our position within the empire. The Emperor's declaration brings a sense of validation and prestige to our ruler's reign. Fostering a renewed sense of pride and hang on, I've heard this before. I've heard this. Hang on. Ah, yes, there it is. A sense of pride and accomplishments. I love it. I love that it has become a little bit of a meme, a little bit of a lol cow. The most downvoted post in Reddit history. And yeah, they have also. Look, it's not exactly the same, but it's very close, and it just reminded me of it, and I think it's funny. Anyway, if that is the inspiration behind this, then you know what, GG. That's very funny. If not, then you know, it's close enough. Anyway, with this official recognition, you can govern with confidence and establish Milan as a prominent city within the realm of the Holy Roman Empire. So you become a monarchy, you get the advance. You revoke Visconti city-states, get autocracy, you lose a little bit of stability, etc., etc. Right. Now, my experience playing Milan is I never got this event. I never got this event either. It just never happened. Because at the start of the game, when I was, a lovely Visconti Republic city-state situation with Republican tradition, I load up and I see all of these estate privileges that I want to give out to the burghers specifically, so I just deep load them with all of the privileges that give me lovely little bonuses, and my stability goes to 0. My Republican tradition goes to 0. And then you become a king pretty much instantaneously before unpausing the game. You are basically a monarchy. You turn into, having legitimacy as your currency, not currency, as your thing, you become a monarchy, and that basically happens as soon as I start playing as Milan, just by giving out estate privileges. And I don't know, I feel like this, especially it being in the Empire, I would have preferred it if this was required to become a monarchy. Having that dictatorship step in EU4, I think, is a really good idea. And a dictator should revert back to a republic, I think, if the emperor says no, or you do not manage to get, official HRE approval. But yeah, no, that's just my experience playing Milan. Is this seems cooler, but also I really wanted to give those estate privileges because they're just good for the country. Either way, we have the cloth industry of Milan. In 1339, the cloth industry in Milan thrives. Skilled artisans weave fine fabrics, including silk and fine cloth, renowned for their quality and craftsmanship. Northern Italian cities, such as Milan, serve as centers of textile production, attracting merchants and buyers from far and wide. The industry has come to play a vital role in the region's economy, generating wealth and employment opportunities. The exquisite textiles produced in northern Italy are highly sought after and have come to establish the region's reputation as a leading hub for the cloth industry. So this will give you a higher silk and fine cloth output, and yeah, we're getting this a lot more now. This is kind of new. I believe, well, this certainly wasn't a thing when I was playing the game, where various estate privileges will actually make other estates mad. So the thing that I did, that I just described, giving all of the estate privileges to the burghers, will now make my patricians and clergy and commoners very, very unhappy. So yeah, having to balance the estates is now going to be a thing. This is new. This is definitely new. Giovanni Balduccio's Arca di San Pietro Martire. Nailed it. I have no idea what this is. Giovanni approaches our ruler with a humble request. He seeks funding to bring his visionary creation, the Ark of St. Peter the Martyr, to life. And he creates a piece of art. It's regionally renowned. It's a highly decorated sarcophagus containing the remains of St. Peter of Verona. Its decorations of reliefs represent the stories of the saint with highly allegorical symbology, including the symbolic representation of moral and theological virtues. We also have the Cathedral of Milan, which is still standing today. And actually, yeah, no, I was going to say, if it was anything other than a masterpiece, I would be kind of surprised. Like, I am very much an atheist, but, god damn, that is a beautiful building. Holy. Yeah, no, it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. That is a masterpiece. I think one of the best looking buildings on planet Earth. But anyway, we have the Milan Cathedral. The iconic structure with its intricate Gothic design dominates the skyline of Milan. The final touches, including the spires and decorative elements, are added to the cathedral, showcasing the pinnacle of architectural achievement. The marvel of human ingenuity in architecture stands as a testament to the city's cultural and religious significance, increasing the glory of God and of the nation. Absolutely gorgeous building. But now we're going to be having a look at at you, Naples, Napoli, glorious. So I have also played this nation. This is the nation that I played the most of in my time with the game. So I may again maybe be able to bring a little bit of context and stuff. The Kingdom of Naples stands at the crossroads of its troubled history. Born from the ambitions of powerful dynasties seeking dominion over the southern Italian lands, Robert the Fox, for example, Naples rises as a bastion of resilience and cultural fusion that extends from ancient civilizations such as the Greeks and the Romans to the more recent dynasties of the Hauteville, that's Robert the Fox, I believe, Hohenstaufen and Anjou, each leaving an indelible mark on its identity. In the year 1337, the kingdom finds itself under the rule of a visionary leader, King Robert the Wise d'Anjou, a wise and just monarch known for his sagacity. Sagacity. The quality of being sagacious. That's very much not helpful. What is this?
Sagacious.
Having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. He's wise or shrewd. Thank you. He's very sagacious. He has keen judgment. and he has navigated the intricate web of political alliances with finesse. Listening to the Google man has changed my accent. I'm sorry, I'll go back to normal. Anyway, his rules brought out a period of relative peace, a welcome respite from the turbulence of the past. Sorry, I'll stop. What will be of Naples when this steady hand falters? What will his successor do to stave off all those who covet the Neapolitan lands? Well, he is, I'd say for all of this, like, talk of how amazing he is, he's kind of silver. It's average AF. But yeah, 27,000. Shit, I forgot what it was called again. Relative power. 27,000 relative power. This is not their manpower. 65 urban territories. We have 2.4 million, population, and 111 tax base, and 31 relative naval power. Maybe we can call this, because you do not start with 31 ships, and I believe, yeah, this is like including naval levies, which are just atrociously awful. I think you can raise more than 31 boats as levies as well. So maybe naval levies count for less than an regular boat in this calculation. I would argue that's pretty likely. Either way, you have the majority of the population being Neapolitan, obviously, naturally. We also have Sicilians. The Grecos are the Greek population. We also have Medians. Mostly Catholics, some Orthodox Jews, and some Waldensians in your country as well. You're a member of the Catholics, you are a member of the Guelphs, you're actually the leader of the Guelphs, and you are also the leader of a personal union. I think you're the leader, you might be equal, but I'm pretty sure you are the leader. You also have a couple of vassals over in the Balkans, in Achaia, and I forget the other one. Like Abruzzo, it's like in Albania. Either way, there is Naples. It's gorgeous, and I still love this map look. I just wish I could see the cities from this zoom level. That would be absolutely beautiful for me. So, starting diplomatic situation for Naples, which is very, very strong. If I recall correctly, we didn't start with cores or claims on Sicily. I'm pretty sure this has changed since I played. But yeah, there is a personal union. Provence is in it, and it's very possible to get Hungary in it as well, because you start with the same dynasty and your ruler is basically about to die. Yeah, so Arborea, I think that one is, and Achaia. So, Naples starts the personal union with Florence, Monday, and Prato, as King Roberto being the podesta or lord of those two cities, with Albania and Achaia as vassals, cores in... why did I say Arborea? Arborea's over here. Yes, Albania itself. Cores in Sicily, obviously, as the leader of the Guelph IO. So yeah, I don't believe we had cores when I played the game. So this is new, and I'm for it, of course. We also have a starting work of art, St. Louis of Toulouse, crowning his brother Robert the Wise d'Anjou. 14th century altarpiece, portraying the historical moment when St. Louis of Toulouse renounced his claim to the Neapolitan throne in favor of his younger brother, and to become a Franciscan bishop. So, some unique advances. We have the University of Naples giving institution growth, very nice. 5 max literacy from Academia Pontaniana. Encourage city living, giving possible bugs in towns and cities plus 500. I like this a lot. I think I've made it pretty clear. I like my burgers. Towns and cities migration attraction plus 0.2 also seems like a really good modifier to have. Expanded the Arsenale, giving plus 10% shipbuilding speed as well. Very nice. Naples has around 60 dynamic historical events, and again, I believe this has changed. If I recall correctly, and I might not, Naples had 34, is the number I'm going to say, because I remember it was roughly the same as Milan, but it had slightly fewer, like very close, but slightly less than Milan, is what I recall. I might be wrong, and, hang me for misinformation if I am. But either way, it's not disinformation, because that's malicious, and I'm not being malicious. Either way. There are long event chains around the succession of King Robert the Wise, which is set on his daughter, Princess Joanna, who in real life was quite troublesome. Our king is growing older, and unfortunately all his male descendants have perished. Tradition dictates that King Anjouy Caroly's side of our family should be our next king, but giving the country to a foreigner will enrage the local nobility, may bring an end to the stability that King Robert has spent his life constructing. Alternatively, Giovanna Giangio could also be a possibility to consider. So, either you can respect tradition and give your country to Hungary, the Hungarian king, I should say, or not give away Naples, and Giovanna, your daughter, shall rule instead, which is what the book option is. And you change your succession law to cognatic primogeniture, and Hungary, they have a tiny amount of opinion malice. It's really not an impactful amount. Leader Robert the Wise and Francis Petrarca is an event that happens with the death of Leader Robert. Leader Robert, I mean, this just... If you're a king that has died, he should still be called king in the localization. Please, this is silly. Leader Robert, I hope that changes. The Kingdom of Naples weeps in sorrow as the news of the king's passing spreads like mournful whisper through the courts. The halls echo with a collective ache, for a wise and benevolent ruler has departed, leaving behind a realm draped in melancholy. So you lose a little bit of money to bring Francis Petrarca, the famous philosopher, to his burial. And the Papal States will be able to, say yes or no on that. From, again, recollection, I often chose this option. You lose the money anyway, and then the Pope said no every time. I don't think I ever got Mr. Petrarca to attend my funeral, which is very sad. We have a new queen, Giovanna D'Angio. Again, these are stats that will be lower than in the game when we play, because this was done via console command to kill Robert, so she's still a child here. Although I guess if your ruler happens to die very early into the campaign, like a year in, this is probably not that unrepresentative. But again, I still think, stats in general for children should be, they should go up a little bit faster. Or maybe adults should be able to continue growing stats until the age of, 45 or something. Several possible outcomes to the reign of Queen Joanna, making for a very entangled situation, such as the husband's crown. Consort Anjou, because she starts a betrothed as well, if I recall correctly. I think it's to the Hungarian king's son as well, or second son, something like that. Consort Anjouy Andras is not satisfied with his position in the Neapolitan court. He is the royal consort, but the will of the old king, Robert the Wise, gives full powers to the queen, leaving him as a mere figurehead. Consort Andros wants to ask Pope Benedictus Fournier for a papal dispensation that corrects this grave mistake and makes his title equal to Queen Giovanna's. So, he wants to ask the Pope if he can be co-regent, co-ruler, king, essentially. So you can choose the book option, he and the Queen are equals, or you can say that he's just consort, the Queen is still obviously the ruler. He is Hungarian, yep, I recall correctly. Black news, the Prince Consort Anjou Andras has conspired with his close kin, King Anjouy Lajlos, and together they have bribed the Pope, asking him to crown Consort Andras King of Naples. Blinded by the coin, Pope Benedictus has accepted and has already announced the date of the coronation. It's enraged the Neapolitan nobility, who refuse to be ruled by a foreigner. Our spies have discovered that a faction of those angry members of the nobility are forming a conspiracy and gathering resources to assassinate him before the coronation happens. So yeah, if you make him the co-ruler, your guys might just murder him, which is funny. Yeah, very, very cool. Very interesting set of flavorful events. I'm not sure did he actually die? I don't know. Was he assassinated? Maybe. I don't know. I would have to look into it. You also have other flavor events like the Library of the Angevin Kings. Since the library was founded by Count Charles d'Anjou, every Angevin ruler to the throne of the Kingdom of Naples has devoted resources to enlarge the collection hosted in it. Scholars from all over the realm and abroad have been paid to translate ancient Greek and Roman texts. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. We have the Lorenzo Vala. I'm not going to read out all of the flavor events because a lot of part of the fun, for me at least, is reading them in the context of the game happening in the background. But I will hover my screen over it so you can read and pause and read if you are so desiring. Exposing the donation of Constantine here as well, and there is much more. So, one thing that we need to pay attention to first, though, I don't want to move on from Naples just yet, is, of course, we know that they start with your cores on Sicily. We know this now. We also know that one of the formables for Naples, and for Sicily, in fact, is the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. You get that if you own, I want to say Panama, that's not correct, Palermo. Palermo and enough territories here, you'll be able to form the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. And Kingdom of Two Sicilies, I formed it in the period where I got to play the game, and then I immediately reported in the Discord where, the devs and the content creators are hanging out, that the color was off. It was awful. It was far too vibrant. In fact, Corbett did a run as Naples in his pre-access video, and you can see it's rather vibrant. It's rather vibrant. So this is something that I had reported, and they said they were going to fix it, and I can confirm they have fixed it ish. They have ish fixed it, because now it's I don't know. I feel like that's, couldn't it have stayed blue? That's the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. That's your form until you form Italy. This is now your formable. Also, I don't know where my camera went and how long that's been off, so apologies for that. This is your formable now? Ugh, no. Formables in this game don't give you any, perma modifiers or big, fat bonuses. For the most part. I don't believe you get any for being Two Sicilies either. You get to change your capital to Palermo if you so desire. So, for me, I don't know why I would become Two Sicilies in this situation when the color of my nation is just a flat downgrade. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. But anyway, that is the end of this. We'll see what we're going to get next time. Next week, regular Tinto talks on Wednesday and Tinto Flavor on Friday. They don't know what the schedule is. There is no shadow release announcement craziness. So, yeah, that's apparently not going to happen. Sadness reigns. So we'll see what we get next week. That's interesting. But there are, of course, other comments to go over and glean and get some more information. So let's go and have a look at some of those, such as, is there anything about Ladislaus of Naples? No, there is not. Any events for the conflicts between Naples and Sicily? Yes, there are. Does Milan have anything about the Ambrosian Republic? Yes, it does. Good to know. Regarding the Visconti city-state, why is the event option mentioning our patricians will gain 5% estate satisfaction, but the privilege doesn't give any estate satisfaction? They're reporting it, and it's going to be added. Is the decrease in other estates satisfaction something only for this privilege, or all privileges, or at least a significant part of them, now giving malices to the other estate satisfaction? It is now a generic feature. So yeah, it is not just something for this one, it's just in general. So here's one for the banal lordship. I have no idea what the banal lordship is. Ban any no country mentioned here, no idea. But yeah, it is just a generic thing. Giving a privilege now reduces the loyalty or the satisfaction of the other estates. I really like that. That's really cool. I like that change. Makes balancing estates just a bit more of a gameplay feature, more of a mechanic. I'm gonna have to now do that. Any flavor relating to Achaia or the Franco-Croatia? This is the Latin Empire, post 1204 Latin Empire created in the Empire of the Romans territory. that was then, after I believe 60 years, reconquered by the Nicene Empire, which is just, Roman government in exile. But either way, not specifically, but Naples starts with a couple of interesting beachheads to effectively restore it. Of course, Achaia and Albania. No special buildings, no special units. Not all countries with flavor have unique units and or buildings, and we didn't want to create templated content, besides some minimal standard content like the advances. So, for instance, the content for Milan and Naples is much more narrative-oriented content, and how they interact with the Guelphs and Ghibelline situation, and their own internal developments. Also, they're very interesting countries to play from a mechanical standpoint. We use both a lot in our internal playtests. Yeah, I kind of agree with this, because those two countries were very interesting. That's why I replayed both of them multiple times. Yeah, no, they are fun, and not every country requires, special buildings and special units. So, look, if special buildings and units become or make sense for the country, I'm sure they will be added in later patches and DLCs and such, which is, it is how it works. Any fallout from the Neapolitans murdering poor Andres? There are ways for Hungary to get a claim throne CB on Naples. It's an interesting situation because Hungary is big and rich, but so is Naples. So preparing a war to claim the crown is not so easy early in the game, in my experience. I don't remember Hungary doing anything when I killed Andres. Or maybe I said no to that event. I remember saying yes to the one where he should be co-ruler, but then saying no to the one where I'm giving, permission to the Pope to do it. I don't remember exactly how everything went down. It's been a while. Any content related to Sforza getting power in Milan or to the Aragonese conquering Naples? Yes, there is a man of force and determination. So you get Francesco Sforza joining your country. Can Naples create the Royal Palace of Caserta? If yes, is it behind a certain date or advance? So if you go to the 18th century, you get the option to build it via Luigi Vanvitelli. And this is another one of those oh my god buildings. They are... It's an oh my god build. It's colossal. Absolutely magnanimously massive. A couple more things, though. Non-related question, is there a working ledger? Yes, there is. It is work in progress. It is not final, but here we have our first, if I try and scale that properly accordingly, there we go. We have our first instance of a ledger, which is, very brown, isn't it? It is very brown. You can see population. I would hope that we get some kind of way to see all countries rather than just my own things here. Although, of course, having game options for how open the ledger needs to be would also be a very welcome thing indeed. But yeah, we're going to get a ledger. And finally, again, something not related to Naples or Milan. We have, oh, I need to zoom in again. We have this comment here. There was a video put out by Playmaker where a lot of critique was made about the difficulty of the game, and it became a whole thread on the forums. And he's asking, have the devs seen the thread and the video discussed in it? So, Pavia here saying, the streamers that had access to the game have given us lots of reports. I've even said in this video some of the reports that I've made, which they've been processing. Some of the stuff has already been addressed and fixed or changed, and some others have not. And he can't tell you how much of it because, they're not tracking specifically if an issue comes from an internal report, QA report, streamer report. They work by priorities and topics, which is the useful way to prioritize it, of course. During regular gameplay, balance has been a constant. Since the project was started 5 years ago, they keep addressing balance until they release the game, and even after it's released. So, essentially, there is a lot of, this thread is quite full of doomerism, about the game being too easy, the balance being all over the place, but at the same time, balance is something that will continue to be worked on, and yeah, there were things that were broken when we played. Antagonism being very, very weak was something that I think all of us kind of noticed. And I think the The only person I saw that said anything about getting a coalition of any note against them was either Habibi or Flurry, and they said that they used it to, conquer more territories. Because you could separate peace, people in a coalition against you. It's obviously the balance is not there yet, and I know the Playmaker got an extra week of play to, do some UI testing, and maybe some balance changes were not implemented or changed with the build that we had all together versus the build that he got a few weeks later. Maybe, balance changes weren't in at that point, because that was specifically to look at UI changes and stuff. So we have no idea when this game is coming out. Like, there is no shadow drop coming. There's been no announcement of a release date. So we really can't say, like, how long there is for them to do balancing updates. And I think this... And I don't blame Playmaker for this, because he wasn't being all doom and gloom about it. It's just that's been the response from specifically this thread and the forums around it. We don't know how long they've got left until we get the game, and there will be balancing done all the way through. I don't think now is a time to be doom and gloom at all. But raising a concern and saying, look, this thing that this guy said, I hope you have taken note, and this is something you're working on. I think that's fine. But yeah, we'll see when the game comes out how many of these concerns have been changed. I think the Tinto devs, more than any other Paradox dev team, have shown a remarkable response to critique more than any other dev team, and I don't think that's arguable at all. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see where we get to. But that is it. I am going to leave you with a picture of Naples because it's beautiful and I like it. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this Tinto flavor. A bit longer, but hey, they put 2 countries in here, so that's just how it goes sometimes. I will be back on probably Wednesday. Hopefully I'll get it out on the day of the Tinto talk, but no promises because I've got a job now and it's busy stuff. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.